Here is what to do next if you have found out that you have been betrayed by your husband. We'll talk about all types of betrayals, why it happened, and what to do. And be sure that you stick around until the end, where I will give you something for free as a way of saying thank you for being awesome. So there was a guy who recently asked someone on our team, "Do you think marriage is a game?" Our team member was like, "No, I don't think marriage is a game." And he said, "Then why do you call it cheating?" I had a lot of things I thought of to reply to this man with when I heard about this, but perhaps the wisest response was the one from my dad, where he said, "Cheating is any time a person does something behind someone else's back that they don't know about that can cause harm to them." Same with betrayal. And you likely feel this. Maybe because your spouse financially betrayed you by hiding money or spending money that you didn't know about. Or maybe they hid something from you like an addiction or something that they were looking at online or someone that they were looking at online. Or maybe they shared a secret of yours that you didn't want them to. Maybe they hid a close relationship that they'd made with another woman, or worse, a full-blown affair. There's a myriad of ways that you could be betrayed by your husband because at its core, betrayal is about a breach of trust. But why did your husband feel the need to hide it? That's the question we all have. I would contend that there are at least two different types of betrayals. The first is shame, and the second is secrecy. A betrayal of shame is when someone makes a bad decision with money, maybe they invested in the wrong stock, or they're ashamed about an addiction that they have. All of those things can lead to shame. There was once a man who lost his job, but kept getting up and going to work every day for almost a year because he couldn't bear to tell his wife that he had lost his job. That was actually one of our clients. And so behind this, yes, he was actually betraying her. He was lying to her in a way. He was portraying something opposite of what was true. But behind it was because he was ashamed. So a question for you to ask yourself is, did your husband not tell you whatever this is because he's ashamed? His motives may have been decent. They may have actually been trying to protect you. Or he may have been trying to work his way out of it, not wanting you to know or wanting you to worry about it because he was trying to fix it on his own. Or was the betrayal because of secrecy, which is the second one? So secrecy is knowingly doing something wrong and intending to keep on despite the bad behavior and keeping it a secret from others. So there's no trying to fix it in the background. There's no motive or intention of doing it for a better purpose. It's really, I just want to keep getting away with this. So now that you are asking yourself these questions and trying to figure out why the betrayal has happened, whether it's a motive of secrecy or a motive of shame, the question is, what are you going to do next? So the first thing to consider is take time to process. Is the betrayal one of shame, secrecy, or maybe even a mixture of both? Those are two different positions of the heart, as I've been talking about. Listen, I'm not justifying what your husband has done in hiding things from you or in lying to you. My husband hid an addiction from me for 4 years that I even bold-faced asked him about multiple times. He was continuing to keep it in secrecy. He was wanting to keep it in secrecy and to continue. And his heart was not yet willing to change at the times that he was hiding it and when I was asking him. But there was also an element of shame. How was he going to tell me these things that he was experiencing? He knew it was going to hurt me. He knew how I would respond. And so finally, after 4 years, when I found out, and thankfully because of what I had learned at Marriage Helper, I handled it well, but I had to take time to process and ask myself, was my husband a good man who was doing a bad thing? And that's why he was trying to hide this? Or is he really just a bad man who's doing bad things, but he really has no intention to repent, to turn his actions around from what he's doing and to be on a different track? Well, the answer was, he is a good man. He definitely repented and he did come to me. So that was showing me that the posture of his heart was changing. And then he was able to get help and to get what he needed to break that addiction and no longer have it anymore. But we have to process that because it's a lot to take on, especially as a wife, learning of a way that your husband has betrayed you. So process all of these things for you. What is the position of his heart? What was his intention for hiding? Was it shame or secrecy? Again, I'm not justifying, but these things will matter in how to handle what's next, which is to deal with the issue. If you found out about the betrayal without your husband admitting it, then you handle that differently than you would handle a confession. So if you found out, then you are likely dealing with the hurt of the lies and the betrayal, plus the continued unknown of how to handle this information, because maybe your husband doesn't know you know right now. So if your husband is having an affair, for example, and he doesn't know that you know, then you handle that way differently. We have a YouTube video just for that for you to watch next. So be sure that you go and check those out. And also go ahead now and hit the like and subscribe button, or if you're listening as a podcast, hit the follow so that you will get access to all of our new content and even be able to see the past content that is relevant for your situation. Plus, it helps us help even more people as well, which is always an added bonus. But the big question here is, how do you deal with it? If it's a betrayal of shame, then it is important to deal with it with grace and compassion. No, the lying and the hiding are not okay and they're not justified. But if you want your husband to be honest with you going forward, then they need to feel safe telling you the truth. But if it's a betrayal of secrecy and they confessed, it's similar. Yes, the lying sucked. They shouldn't have done it. But now they've confessed. And the principle in psychology of positive reinforcement comes in here. If you punish your spouse telling you the truth, then it will go extinct. That behavior will go extinct, AKA they won't tell you the truth anymore. But if you reward them telling you the truth, then they will continue to tell them a truth. You aren't rewarding the lying. But when Rob came to me and admitted all the things, I could have either yelled at him, "How could you?" Or I could have said, "Get out." Or I could have said, "Wow, I know that took a lot for you to tell me. Thank you for telling me the truth. It's hard to hear and I need time to process, but I appreciate your honesty," which, because of Marriage Helper, is exactly how I responded. Which one will have the result for the future of your marriage? Which one will have the best result for the future of your marriage? There's only one answer. In the moment, we want justice. We want the short-term relief of the yelling or the throwing our husband out or all of the things, but that's only going to reinforce the behavior of lying and shutting down. If it's a betrayal of secrecy and they haven't confessed, then you need to be wise on how you approach. Follow the videos that we're going to share at the end of this video for more information on that. But the third thing that I want you to realize and remember and take hold of is that there is hope. Hope, you may be thinking? That's not a point. That's something I have to do. But it is. It is a point, because hope has two parts: is a vision of a better future and a path to get there. And there is hope. Now it's up to you to do something with it. Your marriage can be saved, even when there's been betrayal. We have worked with thousands of people at Marriage Helper who have been in your situation. So how can you create a vision of a better future to save your marriage? And where is the path that you need to get there? We can help with that. Start with the free mini course of how to get your spouse back. We will teach you even more in less than 30 minutes, going into more detail on how your marriage got on the rocks to begin with and how you can get it back. So click the link now on the screen to join that free mini course. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And then stick around if you want to watch that next video of how do you approach your spouse when you have found out that they are having an affair. We'll see you in the next video.